As I get opportunities to speak to many people about wanting to be able to purchase a home, one of the major impediments that I come across and the barriers that a lot of times block individuals from being able to do that is their credit. I get it. There are different situations that we have all fallen into that have caused our credit not to be the score that we want it to be. There are ways that we can repair. There's ways that we can build it back up. And so I want to come with a video to give you some information on building credit to buy a home, because if your goal in 2023 is to be able to purchase that home and get into that place and maybe move from renting where you're paying somebody else's equity to buying where you're getting your own equity depending on your situation, this video can possibly help you move into that particular place. Knowledge is power, which is what we say a lot of times, but knowledge is only potential and information if we do not apply it. So this can give you some plans and some things to help you move forward into buying a home, because the first thing you're going to need, even in the midst of it, when you're trying to buy a home, is you're going to need a pre-approval, and they're going to be checking credit, where they're going to be looking at different areas of your credit. So this gives you that opportunity to take that moment and begin to look at those things and see where you are in the process. So let's go with this. Benjamin Franklin said it like this. He said, great spenders are not always great lenders. Great spenders are not always great lenders. In other words, if we find someone that spends a lot and goes above their means, lenders are less apt to want to give to them. So even in this year, as we go into 2023, you want to begin to break down and cancel debt, pay down debts, get those things moved away so that you can put yourself in a position to buy a home. Credit is like this. Credit is like your college transcripts. Here's what your college transcripts do for you. The better your college transcripts were, the better opportunities you had for the better schools and the things that were out there for you to begin to have. So if you had a 4.0 on your college transcripts, you got more opportunities for the best schools and the best places to be able to get you a home. If you got a 2.0, then 1.5, then there were lesser opportunities and you had to go through different loopholes just to be able to get to that particular point to be able to buy it. So your credit gives you so many great opportunities that I want you to be able to unlock those things in there. Let me give you the areas that your credit is determined by. So one of them, and I'll go through them individually after I give them to you, is payment history is 35% of your credit. Amount owed is 30% of your credit. Length of credit is 15% of your credit. And new credit is 10% of your credit, along with credit mixed is also 10% of your credit. Lenders want to look at your credit, and your credit ranges from scores of 300 to actually up to 850. So 850 is a perfect credit score. You're automatically given 300 when you actually start in the process of getting credit. So you have those 550 points in between that you have to be able to get that information and build up your credit. Here's some things I want you to know and some things I want you to do. Get a copy of your credit report. Get a copy of your credit report every 12 months. You can get a free copy of it. Now, the three places that your credit actually reports to are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And so one place that you can go to every year that will give you a free copy of your credit report is called annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com. It's federal government authorized. And so you can get it from them every year. You should be able to get one copy and kind of see what your credit is like. Credit Karma, you get credit scores like that, and I don't have time. I did videos on that between what the Credit Karma is. Is it between your Vantage score or your FICO scores? I see a Vantage score they use that a lot of lenders are not looking at, and they're often trying to sell you different things, ads and different things in the midst of it. But if you go to Annual Credit Report, you'll be able to get it. And so these are some of the things that I want you to do. Most credit card companies might give you a credit report as well. You may have to log into it to look into it, but they may give it to you. But here's what affects our credit the most. Paying your bills late or not paying your bills at all. Here's the first thing. I said about 35% of it is your payment history. Have you paid as agreed? Have you paid your mortgage, your rent, your phone bill, your credit cards? The later you pay on those things, the more harmful it is for your score. And so if you're developing good credit history, you must pay your bills on time because, again, they're 35% of it. So if that's the case, you need to budget. Put your budget out there. You want to automate your payments if you know you have payments. Or sit down and pay them twice, 2 times a month, and set these times. These are the times I'm going to pay my bills according to when they come into when they're coming into being due. Because payment history, it gives you 35% of it. The next one is amount owed is about 30%. So let's say this: your credit card is $6,000, but you owe $5,000. What they're looking at as lenders, and what they're looking at is saying that, listen, it means you're borrowing more up to your limit. And so it means you have high credit card utilization, which tells the company that this person cannot live off of what they currently earn because they're borrowing more. They're living above their means, so their income cannot approve their lifestyle. Hear me, please hear me. And that accounts for 30% of it. You want to keep, that accounts for 30%. You want to keep your debt to income ratio or your credit card utilization at least 30% or below. It's even best if you can get it down to 10%. One of the things I'm seeing happen, and you all, listen, I'm not being harsh, I'm just putting this information out there, that's preventing a lot of people from being able to buy a home, is these large car loans. Large car loans. Additionally, student loans, which are things we had to take out to be able to get, education due to our system. But these large car loans are messing with our debt to income ratios. Hear me. For every $6.32 you gain, $1,000 in actually purchasing power of a home. So if your car payment is $632, you've just lost about $100,000 of buying power for a home. If your car payment is $1,200, you've lost $200,000 of buying power for a home. And my goodness, if it's $2,000, you've lost $300,000 towards your car. Your buying power for a home. So a lender is going to look at those things. And the third thing, let me go real quickly, is the length of your credit history. Counts for 15%. How long have you had the credit card? Even if you pay off the debt, don't close it. Listen, because once you close it, you're taking away the length portion, which is that 15% that counts towards your actual credit score. So even if a lot of people say, I'm just going to close it out, I'm going to close it out, I'm going to close it out. It might not be the best interest because you'll probably see your score come down a little lower. So 10% goes towards these next two, new credit and your credit max. Don't apply for a bunch of credit cards at once. Lenders think you must not have enough money and must not have enough money, so that's why you're applying. You open up a card and pay it regularly, because what this counts for when you keep applying for them is called hard inquiries. Hard inquiries. 10% of them goes to different things, and so there's different things that goes. 10% goes to your credit mix. What are the different kind of credit mixes that you have in your credit? Hear this secret: everything comes off of your credit report after 7 years. Again, if you're watching this and you know some people that need this information, please like, please share, please comment. I'll try to get information to you. If you want more videos like this, please inbox me. I can get you more videos like this that'll just give you some information. But everything could come off of your credit every 7 years. If there's negative items still on there, you can dispute it with the credit bureau. This is called, look it up for yourself, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act. And after 7 years, everything has to come off of your act. In biblical times, we call it the time of year of Jubilee, but where everything and debts were just canceled. So if you have a 6-year collection, hear me, if you have a 6-year collection, paying it off may not be of best interest because it's probably going to come off in the coming year. So if you're trying to increase your score, even and pay off your debts and your credit cards, there's different methods that people use. It's the snowball method, is where you take the one with the lowest monthly payment, and you pay more on that, and you pay it off. And then all the money you had that went toward that, you pay the next highest, and you pay it off. And all the money you had toward that, you take the next highest, and you pay it off. If you want to find out what that information is, Google what's called the snowball method. Foreclosures typically are not affecting you after 3 years. In some cases, in most cases, a lot of times, depending on the situation, you can actually buy a home. So say you were in the 700, you drop to the 600s, you can go back up, even if you've had evictions, even if you've had repossessions, collections. The older the debt is, the less it affects your credit. The older the debt is, the less it affects your credit. So make sure this thing too, let me give you some other information. Make sure things are accurate on your credit score. That's why I told you to go yearly and get the free report, which is at annualcreditreport.com, because you can go yearly and look at that, because here are statistics. 70% of credit reports are inaccurate. And if you have not seen it, if you have not watched it, if you have not paid attention to it, you will know this information in case you go in there and look at it for yourself. 70% of credit reports are inaccurate. So if they say you owe $350 when you really only owe $200, you can dispute it. There are different books and different things out of there. The creditor has actually 30 days to respond to your dispute. If they don't respond, they have to legally remove it. So if you dispute it, they have 30 days, and if they don't respond, you have to legally remove it. Again, if your car payment, watch this, you have some things in situations where your car payment was late because you lost a job years ago, and we fall on different times, different things happen, and now you've gotten caught up with it, but it's still on your credit report and still affecting you. Can call them and say, listen, I had some late payments that was affecting my credit score, but now I'm up to speed with it. Can you remove it from my credit report and get it deleted from my credit report? And that can help you in the instance of getting some information. So what are just a few tips that I can use? And I'll be done. Again, if this information helps you, please like and share. What are some different things I can do maybe to help even build credit? I don't have credit. Well, the first thing is you want to get a credit card, and you want to pay it off. Again, your payment history counts for 35% of it, so you want to pay it on a regular basis, and you want to make sure you're doing that information. But the first thing you can do is get a secured credit card. It's a credit card where you're paying into it, and you're borrowing basically from what you've paid into it, and you're paying it back. So many people say Discover has a really good secured credit card. So I would tell you to do your information, look up secured credit cards, and it may be something that could help you. Another thing you can do is, if you're looking to buy a home, even though you don't feel like you're ready, even though I would tell you a 580 credit score will get you in the door, just won't get you as great an interest rate as you want. 640 would actually get you down payment assistance. But even if you don't feel like you're ready, you can go with a lender and do an application, because they have different systems that can tell you if you maneuver on this side over here and do something with this part of your credit, or if you do this on this side, it'll boost your credit score up to a higher level. So it gives you information to begin to help you begin to move forth in buying a home. If medical debt does not always report, or a lot of times it may not even have an effect upon you, but that's something you want to ask the lender when you're buying something. I would tell you this: when you're buying a home, get at least 3 mortgage quotes. They're hard inquiries, but if you do them within a small window of time, it will not affect your credit as much, maybe by 5 to 10 points. The other thing that you can do is become an authorized user on somebody else's credit who has really good credit. This is something we should be doing for our children even early. Hear me. This is something you should be doing for your children so you can build their credit. Is put them as I'm not telling you to let them use the card, but as you put them as an authorized user, if you have really good credit, let me preface that. If you have really good credit, if you put them as an authorized user, what happens is you're building their credit, because our young people need to learn. We don't teach this necessarily in school systems. They need to learn about credit, because oftentimes when they're going into college, the creditors are there, the credit cards are there. They're putting out there, and they want them to overspend and get them in debt early on. So put them as an authorized user and build their credit, and teach them about credit, teach them about payment history, teach them about credit utilization, teach them about all those different things that can be used to begin to help them to build credit. Something else you can do is, if you have a credit card and you feel like your utilization is high, but you've been maybe faithful with it, what you can do is ask for actually a credit increase. And that credit increase can lower your utilization and actually help you in the midst of it to build your credit. So these are just some of the tips that we want to use, because I believe 2023 is the best year you're going to have. You're going to move forward. Let's get debt free. Debt is blocking us. Car payments are hindering us. Even with student loans, I've done some on those. They've made it a little bit easier, where it used to count like 1% of whatever your payments are. Now it's like 0.5%. So even with student loans, they've made it a little bit easier for you to be able to get in there and buy it. But you can check out some of my videos on that also as well. I'm actually on Instagram, on TikTok, and you can find those videos about how student loans affect it and how they count it. But work on your debt to income ratio. I'm glad you had an opportunity. I'm thankful that you came on tonight to watch. I hope this has been a blessing to some individuals. Share this information with others so that we can build credit and move forth in home ownership. Happy New Year to you. 2023 is going to be a great year. You're going to prosper in every facet of your life. Happy New Year. And as always, God bless.